Well, hello everybody and welcome back to the channel, and today we're taking a look at a bit of an interesting deck, and today we're going to take a look at Hop's Mega Lopunny, which may seem like a bit of an odd build, but if Omnipoke approves of it, clearly it's doing something. So as per usual, in the description below there's going to be usual links, double the deck list, which is also available to copy in the description below. There's the games that we'll play, and the outro and what I think of the deck. So obviously today we're going to take a look at Mega Lopunny EX. This is one that I was quite excited for, because obviously it's quite splashable. What I mean by that is this card is very easy to splash into another deck. So for example, I've seen Dengo playing this, I've seen Zard playing this, I've seen, what other deck was playing it? I've seen, what was it, Terrabox playing it, you know, like looking at Japanese lists and everything. And it is really a splashable card. The main reason why that is because of the Gale Thrust attack. For just one colourless energy for 60 plus, if this Pokemon moved from your bench to the active spot this turn, this attack does 170 more damage. So that you can kind of see why it was splashing to the likes of Zard and obviously Goldengo, because obviously they play, well, Dengo plays a lot of Air Balloon, Charizard has started playing Jet Energy, so, excuse me, you know, it has that versatility. Also, the Spiky Hopper attack does have some use. Obviously, we're not playing the Dusknoir package, which I think is the better deck. I'm just going to admit that straight away. I think the Dusknoir package is the better deck. But, overall, the Mega Lopunny does have the legs, pun intended, to, you know, be splashed into multiple decks, is pretty much what this card's really about. So the reason for the Hop Zacian choice, and obviously the Hop package in general, is because of aggressiveness. Obviously, Insta Strike can do 120 maximum, and obviously does 30 to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. Now, this isn't as good as Dusknoir, but remember, Dusknoir does take a little bit of time to set up, especially if you're whiffing on like candies and stuff, which, again, the deck would have to squeeze in. At least with the Hop Zacian package, we don't have to squeeze a lot in. 2 Zacians, 2 Snorlaxes, 2 Crams, a couple of Postwicks, you know, like, that sort of stuff would be in the Dusknoir package anyway, like, you know, like, spaces is what I'm referring to. But the simple fact is having the Hop Zacian to early take prizes, and then we can just go jet into the Lopunny to obviously do more damage if we need it, is really good. And obviously, because we're playing the likes of Energy Switch in this list, Hop Snorlax can hit up to 230. Obviously, he is a big bulky boy, he does take 3 energy and obviously has a 4 retreat cost, but that 3 energy can be soon become 2 thanks to the Hop's Choice Band, which we've covered in a previous video when I did Hop Zacian. Obviously the 4 retreat cost is not a problem, we do play Latias, we do play the Jet Energy as I said, and for our basic energy, which we're moving off of Energy Switch, well, it'd be rude to not play some Munkidoris in the list now, wouldn't it? Obviously Dark Energy is such a versatile energy in this deck anyway, because obviously we have it on the monkeys, we have it on our attackers. Obviously Hop's Choice Band helps negate some of the colourless cost. You know, and Munkidori is just so good in this deck. So I've actually upped it to 2 copies. Because I think in the original Hop Zacian video I played 1. Feel free to correct me on that, I don't quite remember it. But moving up to 3 damage counters from a damaged Lopunny or, you know, a Zacian could be very useful. And obviously that does help line up math of Gale Thrust. So we do at least have that option. But otherwise, we do also have the Bloodmoon Ursaluna in here for the late game. We are only playing a 2-2 line of the Buneary Mega Lopunny. But again, I had to try and make the space for that, plus Ultra Balls. But otherwise, this is a pretty standard Hops list, just with a couple of Mega Lopunnies slapped in. So, let's go to the deck list, and let's have a quick look. And welcome to the deck list. So, the first thing you'll notice about this list, once obviously you have a quick skim over with your eyes and everything whilst I'm talking here, is the amount of Gust in this list. So you'll notice there's 3 Boss, 1 Counter Catcher, and 1 Prime Catcher. Obviously Hop Zacian is ideally going to be our first attacker, but obviously the Insta Strike damage, even if it doesn't take a knockout with the active damage, so like 120 maximum, the fact is that we can Prime Catcher with the Lopunny and take out a 3 prizer with the Insta Strike plus, you know, damage and everything. And obviously with Munkidoris in the list, we don't need to play the likes of Vitband, which you could argue Vitband is a very good card in here, and I think you should cut the Air Balloon for it, so we have Jet Energy, you know, we don't necessarily need the Air Balloon, we obviously have the Latias in here as well. I don't think you need the Air Balloon, so if you do want to put a Vitband in here, so this guy can hit 240, Again, that's probably where my first cut would be this card. Or the Venture Bomb. But you get my point. Like, there's a lot to still, like, you know, learn about these cards, in my opinion. And to be honest, I think the Hops package in general is just really nice to have. So that's kind of why I went for it. So I was playing 2 Buneary, 2 Mega Lopunny, 2 Munkidoris, 2 Hops Zacian EX, 2 Hops Snorlax, 2 Hops Cramorant, 1 Bloodmoon Ursaluna, 1 Fez, and 1 Latias. For our supporters, we're playing 4 Arven, 3 Boss, 3 Lillie's Determination, and 2 Iono. Again, a Turo could be good in this list, or like a Wally's Compassion for the Mega Lopunny, but I didn't add one in. 4 Nest Ball, 3 Night Stretcher, 2 Ultra Ball, 2 Hots Bag, 1 Team Rocket's Venture Bomb. This is meant to get monkeys online a bit earlier, but again, this is a cuttable card in my opinion. 1 Counter Catcher, 1 Prime Catcher, 1 Earthen Vessel, 1 Energy Switch, 4 Hops Choice Band, 1 Air Balloon, 3 Postwick, 5 Dark Energy, and 4 Jet Energy. I'm going to miss when Jet Energy rotates. But honestly, this list has been pretty smooth so far, you know, like, obviously the only thing that is a little bit trickier getting going is the Lopunny itself. Because obviously only playing 2 Ultra Ball could be a little bit of a, you know, like a risk. But to be honest, Ultra Ball's mainly here anyway to obviously get stuff like Munkidori, Bloodmoon, Fez, Latias. Because obviously we play 2 copies of the Hops bag anyway, so, you know, we have the Hops bag potential of searching these guys out, which is just really nice. Honestly, this list has been really nice in testing so far, so I'm hoping it can do some work. So let's get into some games, see how we do. And welcome to the first game. Looking forward to seeing how we do with this deck. Obviously, it's a bit of an unusual take on Mega Lopunny. I've not seen many people cover this sort of variant. But I had this in my head, really, when I saw the card, and it does actually kind of make sense. Obviously, the Dusknoir package, as I said, if you've skipped the intro part, I do think that's the better build with the Pidgeot and everything like that. But that's just my take on it, you know, like, I think that's the better approach, but I don't necessarily think it's a bad approach. So we'll start the Zacian. That's completely fine with me. We are going first though, so that's something to bear in mind. We can at least Nest Ball for the Hops Snorlax at the very least. It's Drifloon. Okay, that's fine. Well, that's definitely useful. We'll go that. Munkidori. We'll attach to the Munkidori. Nest Ball. For Buneary, we have prized one, but that's fine. But we haven't prized any Mega Lopunny. Pokemon, we've prized no one important, which is nice. That's what we'd like to see. Prized an Iono. Prized... Well, we've got... Oh, no, we've got Iono lost in hand. Ignore me. Braid is still not 100% awake. Prize a Hops bag, Venture Bomb's in there. We've got no energy in the prizes. We've got 1 Jet Energy in the prizes, but I can live with that. And yeah, we'll just pass. Nice, easy start. So obviously we can just go Iono, potentially find the Snorlax, and start going from there. So we could be for a good ride here. Obviously, we do have Jet Energy in deck and everything like that. There's the evolution. Do they have an energy to attach to the hand? They do. Something tells me they're going to be playing an Iono this turn. Let's see if I'm correct. Either an Iono or a Lillie's. Ooh, they've got Secret Box. Even better. That's good for them. Because then they can grab Buddy Poffin. They can grab, you know, thingy blah blah. But they have discarded the Curlier though, so that's something to bear in mind. They could potentially prize their other Curlier. And if it's not in there, I'm just going to Iono, hope I hit Snorlax plus Postwick. And maybe we can, like, you know, do something with that. If we get, like, Postwick off the top, that'd be really nice. Because obviously we're doing 90 damage, we can just... Well, then again, no, it's 100 HP in it, yeah. So we'd need Postwick plus Snorlax. Yeah, Buddy Poffin and Research makes complete sense. They did grab a Stadium, though, interestingly enough. That's really strange. I don't think that's correct myself, but, you know, that's how I see it anyway. And no, they're just going to Evo. Fair enough. That makes complete sense. Did they seriously play 3 Curliers? I was going to say. That'd be crazy if they did. Well, there's a Lillie's. Lillie's is far better because they've only got 2 cards in hand. Okay, that's not too bad. we could play the Venture Bomb, but I don't think it's worth it. I'm just going to bench the Cram, bench the Latias, go for the Hops Bag, grab ourselves a Snorlax. I can choice band a Snorlax, and I think it's correct. I'm going to play the Venture Bomb, because either way, it works out for us. Tails, so we put 2 on our active. That's completely fine. So now we're just going to Munkidori. Move that 2 off onto the Rolts. And Insta Strike. Hit the Rolts. Take out the Drifloon. And set up that Rolts. That's what we want to do. Because they've got no monkeys down. They've got 1 Curler in the prize, or in the discard pile. They only play a 3-2-2 line and potentially a 3-2-3 if they play the Mega Guardy. Mega Guardy is going to be a problem because obviously we can't one-shot it, but we can do the 1-2 punch. That's the whole idea of mine behind this list, is we're not giving up prize cards because of Dust Noir. We have the early aggression of Zacian. You know, we have that option. But let's see how it works out for us. There's a Bravery Charm. And there's the Research. I could have Iono'd them to get rid of that Research, but they'd have just gotten 6 cards plus to draw for turn anyway, so it wouldn't have hugely mattered, you know. As I always say, there's a time and a place for playing a card, and in that case, playing an Iono there was dumb, because it just bites us. Let's see what they do, though, because they do have 2 energy in the discard pile. They could get swinging with Gardevoir now. And I think they probably will. It looks like they are going to. That's completely fine with me. But they can't sit behind this Gardevoir. Now, if they do... Hold on. So, move 3 off, 270. No, we're 10 short with the Lopunny. That is unfortunate. I could gust this Rolts, and I think it's correct to do so. But first, I'm going to move 3 off. Put it onto the Guardy. Because I can play Iono next turn, it's not that big of a deal. I'm just going to boss the Rolls. And then Instant Strike, damage the Guardy again. Because if they don't get a Monkey down, we can just go find Mega Lopunny and get it into the active. So I'm not hugely worried. There's our Buneary out the prizes, that's always good. They could gust the Buneary, but they have no reason to. They'd have to go for the Guardy swing here. If they go for that, though, that's just a little bit weird, like gusting the Buneary. But hopefully, they don't have a Dark Energy for that Monkey. If they do, they do. But it would be kind of annoying if they did. There's another Rolts, that's fine. Buddy Poffin, that's also fine. Failed a Buddy Poffin, so that means they're out of Rolts, which is good. And also Poffinable targets. That's good. They can obviously Miracle Force take out our Hop Station. If they find a Dark Energy, we could get things ugly here. And Iono, that's fine. I was going to play that this turn anyway. So we need Mega Lopunny plus an energy. That's not a Mega Lopunny, but we could Nest Ball for the Fez. So we're still, you know, we're not there yet, but we could be. We could actually also take this out with a Hops Cram, but we would need a Postwick. So I'm going to promote the Latias for turn. I think that's correct. Because if we can get the swing with a Hops Cram, because obviously Hops Cram can hit 210, which would be really good, because obviously we can take out the Gardevoir with a single prizer. But to be fair, for the content, I'd want to do it with the Hoppany, with the Lopunny. There's Screamtail. He could go for Screamtail. And to be honest, it's probably the correct line, is go for the Screamtail swing. But then again, what does he actually take out? Because you've only got... You'd have 3 energy in there, you'd be short on the Buneary. It's actually correct to just take the 2 prizes with the Gardevoir now. Because you won't do enough with the Screamtail. In fact, no, he would, because he'd put 6 damage counters on it, so it'd do 120. You could take out the Cram, the Monkey, or the Buneary, or the Zacian. So I think it's actually correct for him to go in there. I miscounted Screamtail's damage, but it's fine. Let's see what happens. I think he's going to go for the Zacian, personally. It's probably his best line, I'll be honest. But obviously we can go Nest Ball for, you know, we can go for the Fez if we want to. He can just take out the active Zacian with, obviously, the Roar and Scream here, which is probably correct. If he goes for the Buneary, he's a bit daft. I don't think it's correct to go for the Buneary at all. I don't think it's correct. But let's see what he does. He doesn't have a Dark Energy for that Monkey as well, which is always nice. But yeah, let's see what our opponent does. Roar and Scream, he's probably going to take out the Zacian. He'd be very daft to take out the Buneary. And yep, that's exactly what he's going to do. That is fine with me, Chief. I'll promote the Latias. Let's see what we get. Okay, that's not particularly great. So we'll grab the Fez. Fez for 3. There's Postwick and Mega Lopunny. Ooh. We could still hit it, so let's go for the Mega. Choice Band. Lillie's Determination. Get 6. Ah, we whiff, unfortunately. I can still go for the knockout on this with the Hops Cram. I could just attach here now, so that way we have it ready. And yeah, we'll just Fickle Spin. Take out the Scream Tail. Obviously, Hops Cram will now be offline after he takes another prize card. Well, no, it won't be. It'll be after his next 2 prize turn, is what I mean. Obviously, we are now on odd prizes, so that's something to consider. But that's completely fine with me. If he does take out the Hops Cram, though, we can very easily just, you know, go for Night Stretcher. We can potentially find our... I think we've got 1 left. Yeah, we've got potentially 1 left on both the Zacian and the Hops Choice Band. But obviously this turn, I'd ideally want to go promote Latias, free retreat into the Lopunny, Gust the Gardevoir, because he's already had a Candy. Obviously they are playing normally 2 to 3 Candy, but still. He's going to Night Stretcher. What's he going to grab back? Probably the Drifloon. Drifloon would probably make the most sense. But let's see what happens. But no, this has gone pretty smoothly so far, you know? And yeah, I think he's just grabbed a Drifloon. Yep, he has. If he has Dark Energy, this could get ugly. There's another Monkey. There's a Curlier. Bravery Charm. How many energies have got on that discard? 3. Okay, we could be okay, though. We could be okay. But obviously, in typical Gardevoir fashion, they are starting to slow play. Data ends in Y for Guardian players. Like, whenever I face Gardevoir players, like, they always do tend to take the mick. Like, there's only ever been 1 fast Guardian player that I've ever met. And that was with my locals a while back. Don't know if they're still going, but yeah. They were probably the fastest Gardevoir player I knew. Grabbing Psychic Energy, so that means no Dark Energy on the Munkidoris. That's good. Because if they go Munkidori onto the Mega Lopunny, they can actually take it out with a Drifloon. Which could be a concern. So they're going to retreat into the Drifloon. Because we know what they're going to do here. They're probably going to Gust the Fez. I mean, you are forcing me to deal with the Drifloon threat. Okay. Okay, I see the line here. That does make sense. They're going to try and confuse my Mega Lopunny. I get the idea here, but I don't think it's correct. I just don't think this is correct. Because obviously you are lining it up for the Drifloon play. I get the idea here, mate. But, you know, I don't think this is correct. It's only a 1 retreat cost. This isn't really a problem for me. Right. Well, let's see if we can punish our opponent for that. So, first of all, I'm going to Dread a Brain onto the Drifloon so that makes the math a little bit more awkward. I'm then going to retreat the Lopunny into the Cram, Night Stretcher back that Dark Energy. So I can reattach it to the Lopunny. Can boss Gardevoir. And Fickle Spitting, 210. That's the whole idea of the Hops package. And there's that. And there's one of our Jets out of prizes. Nice. There's a Night Stretcher. Yeah, they're really slowing down their pace of play now. Oh, classic Guardy. Whenever you're losing, you take even longer. If I'm going to go into the Drifloon here, they could also go into the Gardevoir itself, because obviously I can't directly one-shot the Gardevoir. And I think that's what they're going to do. But yeah, this matchup's been pretty easy so far. There's another energy committed, so they're putting less damage on the board, but I only need one prize card, so we're just going to jet into the Lopunny. And Iono, so we do need to find a boss. There's Energy Switch, that's pretty good. Psychic Embrace. And there's the Miracle Force. Alright, so let's see if we can wrap the game up. We need to find boss or prime. Okay. Fez for 3. Okay, that is a bit of a problem. Because we're 10 short with the... we're 10 short with this. We can heal this, though, which is nice. So I'm just going to put it on here, because then it forces him to find monkeys. I can Ultra Ball Hops Cram and a Postwick. Does Bear do it? No, Bear's a little short, because obviously we need an energy for Bear. I could grab Bloodmoon just to threaten it, I guess. I mean, I could swing with Spike. Well, I could swing with Gale Frost, but it doesn't really get us anywhere. I mean, realistically, what do I give him here? I'll just give him the Snorlax, because I don't force him to find Gust. I think that's correct. Because like I said, we could just free retreat this out anyway with Latias. If they take out the Latias, that's a different story. But obviously, if we find energy plus, you know, we keep this energy switch in hand, we could be okay here. There's the Munkidori. If they have Gust, they do win here. They just Munkidori 3 onto the Lopunny. And then they have game if they have Gust. But they need... how many energy? I think it's 5? But because I've been putting the damage on the Drifloon, it's been making their math a little bit more awkward. So I don't think they'll be able to do it. They'll be able to put 4 on it. So 4, so 80, 110. No, they'll still be able to do it. It actually helps their math. Because of the monkey find. Because they found this dark energy, that does actually help their math. You know, I'm all for people, like, you know, taking their time and things like that, but there's a difference between taking their time and, as I always say, taking the mick. And yeah, they just pass. Interesting. I mean, I could just keep moving it to the Guardy, I guess. I mean... no, I have game with Bloodmoon, don't I? Because I can just go bench Bloodmoon, Energy Switch, and Jet Energy. Yeah, we have game with Bloodmoon. Bring up the Bloodmoon. And yeah, it's a concession. Eat that Gardevoir. That's what you get for slow playing. I don't get why some people slow play like that. I mean, the time difference there was crazy, but... well, that's Gardevoir for you. At least we had the game with a bear. Let's go to a game 2. Well, I feel like I've aged quite a bit with that Gardevoir match. I mean, I don't feel 25 anymore. I feel a lot older. But, well, I mean, I can even feel my beard growing. It took that long. Like, I understand, like, God of War does have a few lines and everything, but, like, come on, they don't take that long. No, we don't want to go first. I had to remember what deck I was playing then. My brain switched off during that God of War match. But no, that's why I like the energy switch in this sort of deck, because you have that option of just being able to, you know, do what you need to do. That's just how I see it anyway. I think it's a good card to play, you know. And yeah, it's Riolu. That's fine with me. I finished answering what I needed to in that Discord anyway. They were asking me about, because obviously there's a new Zekrom, there's a new Mega Frostlass, which I'm just going to say, I think Mega Frostlass has potential, but, you know. Ooh, hold on. Hots Bag, Snorlax Zacian. That's pretty good. Okay, there's Buneary Lopunny, that's fine. Yep, okay. Has Gustin Look, that's fine. Got all 4 Hops Choice Band. We have Price of Dark Energy though, but that's fine. There's a reason why I went ooh, because I can do Jet Energy plus Air Balloon. Well, to be fair, I'm gonna just attach for turn anyway. Well, I'm gonna. In fact, no, I could just attach. Why am I grabbing frickin' Air Balloon? Nah, it's fine. It's just my brain fart moment. So we'll Nest Ball, grab a Buneary. Obviously, in this matchup, we do have to consider fighting weakness. So then we can go Choice Band, Jet Energy, and Insta Strike. Take out a Riolu. Immediate pressure. That is what I like about the Hopzation build. You know, like, it's such a good idea, in principle. They're grabbing a second Lunatone on the bench. Explorer's Guidance. Very interesting choice. Okay, interesting choice. Wonder why they're playing Explorer's Guidance in that deck. Wait, this isn't? That's Sada. Huh? Is this Great Tusk Mill with like a Lucario package? Huh? This moves energy, doesn't it? Yeah. I have to remember that then. That's fine. Because like I say, we cover, you know, we don't need this energy on the Hopzation. I'm just going to Hop's Bag. Grab another Zacian, I think. Well then, Team Rocket's Venture Bomb. Heads, nice. I can put this on the other Lunatone. Dark Energy to the Munkidori. And we'll just Insta Strike, take out the Lunatone. Put 30 on the Great Tusk. Like I say, I'm not bothered where they move this energy, because like I say, all of our Pokemon can use it. I mean, sure, it's a retreat option, you know. It is a retreat option if needed. But no, there's a nice Jet Energy. Jet Energy is going to be really useful in this matchup. They do play a lot of counter catchers. And obviously if we can get Mega Lopunny online, we could be okay here. There's a Sada. As long as we can keep the consistent pressure, we should be fine. I think, who was it that covered this deck list? I think it was for the Win TCG? I don't quite remember. They do need to get another Tusk down, though. That would be ideal. There's a Fighting Gong, so they can grab another one. So we do need to find Postwick to actually one-shot this, well, take out this Great Tusk. That's why I put the 30 on it. And now they can Glen Collapse for 4. Neutralization Zone, that is completely fine. We just need to find our Postwick. Oh, they get rid of Prime? No, that's bad. Okay. That's annoying. So I'm going to Ultra Ball, Earthen Vessel, Energy Switch. In fact, no, I'm going to need this Energy Switch. I'm going to get rid of Jet. I can grab the Lopunny now. Thin that out of the deck. I'll then energy switch the Dark onto the Snorlax and Iono. Okay, we still get the attack with him. So we can go Hop's Choice Band, Jet Energy, and then Dynamic Press, 200 damage. Now obviously we need to find another Dark Energy to heal the Snorlax, but we could be okay here. There's another Jet. We've actually prized a few Jet, but that's annoying. Pretty good, pretty good. Pretty good. We're in a really good position now. Like, genuinely. Even though we don't have the stadium, if we find a Dark Energy, we can obviously use the heal and obviously put it on that Lunatone on the bench, which already has damage. We could also put it on the Great Tusk, which I think is more correct, because obviously we can just pressure on with Zacian anyway. But still, there's a Nest Ball. They could attack here with the Soul Rock, which could be a problem. And yep, they're going to. That's annoying. They do take out our only single prizer, but we do get Fez value. I'm going to promote the Munkidori with a Jet Energy on it. See, it does serve as a pivot. It's very rare you see this deck take a prize card, that's for sure. And I mean their deck, not mine. I can grab that Dark Energy out of the discard pile, at the very least. So I'm going to Fez for 3. Oh, we need the stadium there, ideally. I can attach, and I can Iono, I guess. I need to find a stadium. Still no stadium, that's really annoying. I could Air Balloon this, I guess. I'll just pass. That's really bad we kind of whiff that. Really bad. Really bad. I mean, at least we could use Spike Hopper in this matchup at the very least. That's more for wall breaking, but it's fine. Here's the retreat, probably into the Tusk. I'm hoping they don't mill our Postwicks. We're not down any yet, but, you know. There's the Great Tusk. If they have the Sada, which they do get more value. But no, I think Great Tusk is just too slow in this format. That's the main problem with it. And there's Landclaps. That does send out some stuff. At the very least, we could hit a Postwick here. There's Hop's Cram. That could be a potential attacker. And we're just Lilies. Still no Postwick? Are you having a laugh? This is crazy. Have I priced all 3 or something? I mean, does that go through this? I don't think it does. But you know what? We're going to try it anyway. I don't think it does anything because of the, Oh, it does! I didn't think it did. I thought it couldn't go through neutralization zone. Okay, I didn't know that. That's good to know. I genuinely did not know that. I know my sister's going to be like, Joe, you should know this. You've been playing against a judge most of your time. But no, generally, I did not know that was an effect. I thought it couldn't go through. But at least we get to Spiky Hopper, at the very least. They're thinking about where to put this energy. I genuinely did not think that would work. I just thought I'll do it because that way I at least have an attack. But no, that is good to know. That is good to know. Because like I say, it says effects on your active Pokemon. I didn't think, you know, like this would be stopped by it. But no, that's really good to know. I can bounce the stadium, it's just even better, but no, genuinely, that's really good to know. I'm so glad I learned that. Right. So, we are struggling a little bit, though, because obviously we do need to take 2 more prizes. They could potentially still win this game. There is a world in which they win this game. It's not a very big world, but they could still win it. They don't play Hand Disruption. They only really want to play Sadas. It's very rare they do play Hand Disruption. Palpad. They're down all 4 Sada, which is good. Great Tusk Mill on the ladder, though. That's really interesting, I must admit. Lunacycle, discarding a fighting. Super Rod. Probably put back some Tusks. But no, as long as we can keep up the pressure of Spiky Hopper now that I know it could do that. There's the Latias going back in as well. That's pretty useful. Even Sudowoodo. Okay, that's fine. We can deal with that. We have the Jet in hand. If they do try to go into that, we do have Jet in hand. So it's not that big of a deal. They're only going to land Collapse for 1 though, so that's something to consider. That's fine. That's completely fine. There's our Latias. We'll play the Arven for turn. Do we want to thin this out? Probably not. Attach. Spiky Hopper. And that should be game. That should be game. Obviously, losing our Prime Catcher to the mill is quite annoying, but we can deal with that. Impound is also an issue, because obviously we're out of Jet Energies now. They could potentially still win this game. And they're playing a Cornerstone in there? Jeez. They really want to, like, lock you down. Let's see what they do, though, because, you know, we could potentially win this, but given we are down all of our Jets, this could get ugly. I'm just kind of hoping that they don't have a way to Gust. If they don't, they don't. But at least we got to use Spiky Hopper, which I wasn't expecting to use this attack. But, you know, the option is there, I guess. I've just got to hope they don't have CC and they don't have a Fighting Energy. But that's kind of coping. There's no polite way of putting it. I'm kind of coping here. Because like I say, Neutralization Zone has stuck for so long. Like, we've not even prized any Postwick from what I saw in that deck check there. Like, that's crazy. The fact that we're whiffing so much on our stadiums. But no, this is not good. And no, they just pass. We win with Spiky Hopper. Who needs Gale Frost? And there we go. That's game. I'll take that against Great Dust Mill. It's quite a scary deck. I thought it was Lucario at first. I'm not sure why the Riolu's in there, but no. That went pretty smoothly, I think. Let's go to game 3. And welcome to game 3. That went pretty smoothly against Great Dust Mill. Obviously, we did have to use a lot of our Jets, which was quite concerning. But like I said, the Energy Switch package, the Jet Energy package, you know, it really helps make this deck do so well. You know, like, we have so many lines. And like I said, because we have the early aggression of the Hop Zacian, we can at least set up our opponent's board for Mega Lopunny. But yeah, so far this has been pretty smooth, and we're going first. That's fine. Okay, starting to crams a bit bad though. Come on, there we go. Etcheron, so this is Mega Sharpedo. We'll bench the Buneary. Ultra Ball away a boss and a Stretcher. And we will just grab a Hops. In fact, no, I'm going to grab the Latias here. Pass. So I don't mind going first for this deck. It's just ideally we want to be going, you know, second, getting early aggression in, that sort of thing. Obviously, Munkidori is going to be a problem in this matchup, but his monkeys are harder to set up than mine. You know, I don't have to attach for turn to my Pokemon. Purloin? Okay. I see the reasoning for that. I know what this one does. It lets you search for 3 dark Pokemon and put it onto your bench. Or into your hand, sorry. And Iono. Not bad at all. And we get the Buneary, well, we get the Mega Lopunny at least. If we get a boss, I'm going to go straight for that Carvanha. I'm going straight for that Carvanha, let's put it that way. He can grab Tox, Sharpedo, plus he can grab something else. No, he's just grabbing Toxels. Fair enough, he must have Sharpedo in hand. Alright, let's see what we can do here. Hops bag, that's pretty good. So we can go Zacian and Snorlax. Team Rocket's Venture Bomb. That's fine, because we have the monkey. So we can go bench the monkey, attach return, Hop's Choice Band. We can Adrenabrain onto the Carvana. I'm not going to evolve this now, I don't really have a reason to. So we'll go Instant Strike for 90, damage the Carvana. We're forcing him to evolve it this turn. And there's a nice Nest Ball, that's what we like to see. So I'm just trying to think, would the math work out for us? There's the Sharpedo. So 50, so it's a 280. Hero's Cape, oh god, that thing's bulky. Hero's Cape isn't commonly played in that, I will say. It's very rare it is. They can get the Sharpedo swinging now, which is a problem. Yeah, he's a bulky boy. There's not much I can do about him. I have to two-shot it with, like, Cram plus, you know, with Mega Lopunny. I can't not, you know, muck around with it. That is a bulky Sharpedo. I mean, it is taking poison damage. So we only need to hit, what, 250? No, 350? Yeah, that's totally doable. Because he just one-shots our board. Alright, we'll promote the Latias. Arven's pretty good. We do get a Vessel now. We get Vessel plus Hop's Choice Band. I can Vessel away to Buneary. Grab some energy. I'll evolve to it now. It is probably correct to go in here with a Cram, but, well, you know. We'll grab the Fez as well, because obviously he did take a knockout. I love the fact, by the way, that my opponent's playing fast, you know. I like to play fast anyway, but, you know. They will Gale Thrust for 230. So even with a Monkey Heal, this is still in range for Spiky Hopper. Like I said, what do you expect me to do? This is a Hero's Cape freaking Sharpedo. I never see Hero's Cape. Like, of all the lists I looked at for Sharpedo, I never saw Hero's Cape. I get the idea, but Hungry Jaws just doesn't hit hard enough. That's the main problem. Now, if he has Gust for the Latias or the Fez, that could be an issue, but we can obviously Iono them this turn, which is pretty good, but obviously, you know, having a big bag Sharpedo in front of you is not a good thing. We don't want that, do we? Because Sharpedo be scary. He is a big boy, you know. I mean, I've always liked Sharpedo as a Pokemon, because he is a Hoenn Pokemon. I do have a bit of bias, but, you know. And Lillie's so Gust, that's good. That could matter. There's a Munkidori, so he's going to move some damage off, but obviously we can move it right back with the with our own monkey, so it's not that big of a deal. Hungry Jaws for 270 falls 30 short, so that's good. We're going to want to heal this anyway, because, you know, it's useful. Sinister Surge, probably to power up the other Sharpedo. And yep, he's putting energy on it, that's fine. So he's hitting 270 right now. So yeah, this heal does actually matter. Wait, does it? Hold on. So he's doing 270. He's choosing a new active, so he's switching. He's going to go for Greedy Fangs. That's fine. Hopefully we're going to find some of our Gust. That's what we need. That is not some of our Gust. Okay, that's fine. So we'll Adrenabrain, put it onto the Sharpedo in the active. I think it's actually correct to just go with a Cram here. In fact, no, we could potentially get him a No, we can't get him a Snorlax, because it's 280. We do 230 maximum. Okay, we'll just Iono for now. Okay, that's a Counter Catcher. Counter Catcher's pretty good. So we can go Retreat. Pew. Counter Catcher to Sharpedo. Pickle Spit in 210. Pick up the Sharpedo. Nice. That's what we like. Take 3 prize cards. This is why I like the Hops package, you know, like, it's such a good, you know, like, backup support for the Mega Lopunny. It's cheap. You don't need a lot of, you know, setup for it. Genuinely, this is such a good package to include in a deck. Like, it's so versatile. And like I said, having a single prizer that can hit 210 in this matchup is just so good to have. So, so good. But yeah, this is looking good for us. If he has Boss for the Mega Lopunny, this could get ugly. There's the Iono, that's fine. He has to take out this Cram. He can't just leave it unanswered. So after getting Chains... Does he have Gust for the Lopunny? He could also put on a Cram and take some more damage out of play. Does he have Gust? Because if he doesn't, I have game here, I believe. Yep, we have game. Do we have... Oh no, we don't. 230. No, we're short, I think. Yeah, we're a bit short, but that's fine. Yeah, we're short by 20. Okay, that's fine. So, Fez for 3. I believe we have game with Ultra Ball. Do we have second Monkey? Yes, we do. We have second Monkey. Although, we don't actually, because we need a little bit more. So, Night Stretcher. We need the energy switch. I'm going to make him... I'm going to bluff him, essentially. I'm going to make him think I've got it. Because when he sees this, he might concede. Bluffing your opponent is actually a valid strategy. Lose determination. I need energy switch. We get it. We have the energy switch. Free retreat into the Lopunny. And Gale Frost 230. Take game. Nice easy win against Mega Sharpedo there. That's what I mean. Having the energy switch in this deck makes it busted. Just like I did with the Hops video. But there we go. That is another win. If that doesn't prove the power of the Hops package, I don't know what will. Very smooth games we had there. Obviously, Gardevoir did take a little bit of time, but, well, that's Gardy for you. Gardevoir players always love to take the mic. And now we're in Galvantula rank, which is always nice. So, what did I think to the deck? As I said in the beginning part, I don't think this is the best build of Mega Lopunny. But, the keyword there is but. I do think this is a good build regardless. I think the Pidgeot Dusknoir package is just better, but obviously you have to consider you are giving up prize cards. You know, you don't have as early aggression as a Hops Zacian list does. But genuinely, I think this list was really fun to play. In terms of what I'd change, there's not really a lot I'd want to change. I would recommend a Vitality Band, because, you know, obviously we are going to have matchups where, you know, the extra 10 could matter. And obviously it's, you know, it's a cheap card to put in. You just take out the Air Balloon, in my opinion. I don't think you need the Air Balloon per se. Other than that, genuinely this list felt really good to play. We had a lot of versatility out of the Cram, the Snorlax, the Zacian itself. We had the, obviously, you know, we had the backup support of everything. But honestly, you know, like, it has a lot of potential. And I think this list is really good to play. Anyway, I'm going to leave it all to it for today, and I'll see you next time.